all to the Canal Side Players production of It's a Wonderful Life. My name is Bobby Genero. I'm the Drama Club advisor here at Upper Cape. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. We know how busy this Christmas season is, and so for you to choosing to spend your time with us, it just means a lot. These kids have worked really hard. We have students from across the school that have, contributed to the show. We think you guys are in for a real treat tonight. Just out of curiosity, raise your hand if you've been with us before for the dinner theater. All right, that's a lot of hands. All right, welcome back. For those of you that didn't raise your hands and you saw how many people came back a second time, you know you're in for a great night tonight. We're very, very excited to bring the show to you. There's a lot that goes into a production like this, not only from the students in Drama Club, but we have carpentry students. Thanks, Ellen. We have carpentry students that have built our set. We have cosmetology students who designs the hairstyles to look like the 1940s. We have engineering students that created our on-air and applause signs in the radio station. And of course, our great culinary students who are serving you right now. Our culinary students volunteer their time to do this. And to pay them back, they do have a scholarship fund. Lola over here does have a tip jar. If you feel so inclined and would like to contribute to their scholarship fund, Lola's going to make her way around the room while I'm giving you your curtain speech. Feel free to make a donation. She'll also be around at the end of the show, so if you don't have it now and want to hit it later, that's fine as well. All right. So as I said, a lot goes into doing this. The kids have worked so hard. What we're shooting for tonight is something that we've never really done before. Well, last night. Something we've never really done before, which is broadcast this like a live radio play. The kids, instead of doing the acting that they're normally doing, they're voice actors in a radio station. So that's the effect we're trying to create for you tonight. We want you to feel like you're in your dining room, dining with your family, dining with your friends, and listening to the radio broadcast a beautiful Christmas story to you. I got to get some particulars out of the way. In case of emergency, which we hope there will be none, there is an exit door there. There's also an exit door if we go out this door, take a right, and take another right. There's an exit there as well. Bathroom, women's room, out the door to the right or the left. There's two women's rooms. Men, we only have one, out the door to the right. So what tonight will look like for you, they're clearing your salads now. The show's about to begin. They'll serve your entrees during the show. By the time the entrees are done and starting to clear, the show should be wrapping up. You'll have time to sit there and enjoy your dessert with your family and your friends and talk about how amazing the show was. Just to make sure that the kids give the absolute best performance possible, I'd love to raise the energy in the room. Get them all pumped up to give you an amazing performance. So if you would be so inclined as to give them a rousing round of applause. We have Wareham TV that generously came to tape our show for us. So the kids are going to be their absolute best. So sit back and enjoy our production of It's a Wonderful Life.
How are y'all doing tonight?
Give a round of applause if you want us to start this show.
All right. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen. Greetings from WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Studio 8 in Manhattan, New York, right here in the US of A. I'm your host, Freddie Fillmore, and it is my pleasure to bring you your favorite Christmas carols, Christmas stories, this and every night here on WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Tonight we bring you a real feel-good heartwarmer perfect for this or any Christmas Eve. It's a Wonderful Life. We begin our story in the small town of Bedford Falls, where a number of people are praying for their dear friend, a typical American named George Bailey.
Dear God, please look over my husband, George.
George is a good boy. You know that. My son has always gone out of his way to give others a hand. Now it's him who needs the help.
My big brother George. He's done so much for all of us. More for me than ever.
I remember all the times he would stay late after work and not ask to send. The world needs more like George Bailey.
Never thinks about himself. I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it
If it
wasn't
wasn't for him, I would have given up long ago. All I think about is myself. I must have taken the last cent he had.
The voices carried heavenward, and Joseph, the superintendent of angels, summons Clarence, an apprentice angel.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence, a man on earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse, he's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. tonight, Earth time, that man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh dear, his life? Then I'm only a half hour dressed. What are they wearing now?
You will spend that half hour getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Sir, if I should accomplish this mission, might I perhaps win my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years now, and people are beginning to talk.
What's that book you got with you?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sir.
You do a good job with George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Thank you.
If you're going to help George, you'll want to know a little something about him. Look, see the town?
Why, yes, a group of young boys setting down a snow-covered hill and onto the ice.
Yippee!
Who's that?
That's George Bailey when he was 12, back in 1919. Something happens here. You'll have to remember later on.
Here comes the scare baby, my kid brother, Harry Bailey.
I'm not as scared.
Yeah, Harry, you can do it, Harry!
Harry! Help!
Harry's fallen through the ice.
I'm coming, Harry! Make a chain gang!
Harry fell through the ice, and his brother saved him.
But the icy water gave George a bad ear. It was weeks before he could return to his after-school job at Old Man Gower's drugstore.
It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey.
You're late.
2 cents for the shoelaces, Violet?
Please, Georgie. I like him.
You like every boy.
What's wrong with that?
Here you are.
Bye, Georgie. See you later, Mary.
Made up your mind yet, Mary?
I'll take chocolate.
With coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
You don't like coconuts? Say, brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from? Looky here, from Tahiti, Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
Is that a new magazine? I never saw it before.
Of course you never. Only us explorers get it. I've been nominated for membership in the National Geographic Society. Let me get your ice cream.
Is this the ear you can't hear on, George Bailey? I'll love you till the day I die.
I'm going exploring someday. Wait and see.
George! You're not paid to be a canary!
Goodbye, George.
Goodbye, Mary.
What was that piece of paper George just picked up?
It's a telegram from Mr. Gower. He found out this morning that his son died of influenza, and he spent the afternoon drowning his grief in whiskey.
Mr. Gower, do you need anything?
No.
I'll get them, sir.
Take those capsules over to Mrs. Blaine's.
They have the diphtheria there,
Get going!
Yes, sir. Mr. Gower, that bottle you used, you put something wrong in those capsules.
Who do you think you're talking to?
You're hurting my sore ear.
You hear what I said? Get out of here!
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules. I know you got that telegram and you're upset. But look at the bottle you used, Mr. Gower. It's poison.
Poison?
No, my sore ear again.
Poison? Oh, George. George.
All I wanted was to make sure, Mr. Gower, I won't ever tell a soul. Hope to die I won't.
Did he ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry the girl? Did he ever go exploring?
We'll get there soon enough, Clarence. George grew up and wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked 4 years in the Building Loan Association.
Building a loan association.
George's father was in the building loan business, along with George's uncle, Billy.
George! What's the combination to the safe?
We wrote it down so you wouldn't forget it.
Ah, that's right. Where?
Who's that?
That's Henry F. Potter, the richest and meanest man in all the county.
Peter! Potter's here.
Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey. There is nothing quite so loathsome as a family business. Now, Peter, you know what I'm here for. I'm on a very tight schedule. A family truthing free.
Okay then, Mr. Potter. Here's the thing. I just need a little more time. I'll dig up that 5,000 somehow.
Have you put any pressure on those people of yours to pay their mortgages?
Times are hard, Mr. Potter. A lot of people are out of work.
Then foreclose.
I can't do that. These families have children.
Are you running a business or a charity ward?
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You got no family, no children. You can't begin to spend all the money he's got.
So I suppose I should spend it on miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours who spent for me.
You can't call my father a failure!
All right, son.
Don't let him
Thanks.
say that about you, Pop.
What kind of business are you running here?
George worked to save enough to see him through the university, but first he was going to Europe. Old man Gower surprised him with the gift of a great big suitcase. On his way home from the store, he ran into his friends Ernie the cab driver and Bert the cop.
Hey, Ernie.
Hiya, George.
Hi, Bert.
Hey, George, what's the suitcase for?
I'm a rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style?
Sure, Your Highness. Up in the cab. And for the carriage trade, I put on my hat.
Good evening, Mr. Bailey. Looks like you're ready to get out of here.
Hello, Violet. Hey, you look good. That's some dress.
Oh, this whole thing? Why, I only wear it when I don't care how I look. See you later.
Wanna come along, Bud? I'll show you the town.
No thanks. Think I have to get home and see what the wife's doing.
Family man.
That evening, George had dinner with his father.
Boy, my last supper in the Bailey boarding house.
Oh, we're sure gonna miss you, George. I wish we could send Harry to college with you.
We have that all figured out. Harry will take my job at the building and loan for 4 years, then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
No younger than I was.
You're born older, George. I suppose you decided what you're gonna do once you get out of college?
What I've always talked about. Building things, design new buildings, play modern cities.
It's just a hope. But you wouldn't consider coming back to the building on loan, would you? I know it's early to talk about.
Oh, I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in that shabby little office. I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that remark. But this business of spending all your life trying to save 3 cents in a length of pipe, I'd go crazy. How would I do something big and important?
You know, George, I feel in a small way we are doing something important. It's not too much for a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace, and we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad, but most of my friends have already finished college. I just feel if I don't get away, I'd bust.
You're right, son. This town's no place to live if you aren't willing to crawl apart. Get your education and get out of here.
I'm glad you see what I'm talking about. Say, maybe I'll go say goodbye to Main Street. Last night in town and all.
Have a good time, son.
Hello, George Forgy.
Hello, baby.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'll probably end up at the library.
Don't you ever get tired of just reading about things?
Yes. What are you doing tonight?
Not a thing, Georgie.
Are you game, B? What say we make a night of it?
Oh, I love it, Georgie. What do we do?
Let's go out in the fields and take off our shoes and walk in the grass.
Huh?
Then we can go up to Stewart Lake. It's beautiful up there in the moonlight, and we can swim. Then we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise against the peaks. And we'll stay up there the whole night. And everybody will be talking about it. And it'll be a terrific scandal.
George, have you gone crazy? Walking the grass at my bare feet? Why, it's 10 miles up there to Mount Bedford. You think just because you...
Okay, just forget about the whole thing.
Hee-haw! Forget about what, George?
Oh, nothing, Sam.
You remember Mary, don't you?
Hi, George. Hi, Mary.
You wouldn't mind walking Mary home now, would you?
Of course not. Is that okay with you, Mary? Fine by me.
Great, thanks. Hee-haw!
George walked Mary home. Is that important, Joseph?
I'd say it is, because even though Mary lived only 4 blocks away, it took them 2 hours to get there.
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog, oh boy, just like an organ. Gee whiz. Beautiful. You know something? If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. Hey, look where we are.
The old Grahamsville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh no, don't. I love that old house.
Don't you know about deserted houses? Make a wish and then throw a rock.
But George, it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived there.
I wouldn't live there if I was a ghost. Now watch this. Pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window.
What was your wish, George?
Not one wish, a whole hatful, Mary. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. Then I'm coming back here and go to college to see what they know. And then I'm going to build airfields and skyscrapers 100 stories high and bridges a mile long. Hey, what? Are you going to throw a rock too? Pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window. What'd you wish for, Mary?
Oh no. If I told you, it may not come true.
What do you want, Mary? You want the moon? All you gotta do is say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Okay, I'll take it. But then what?
Then you can swallow it, and it'll all dissolve, see? And the moonbeams shoot out of your fingers and toes and the ends of your hair and the... Am I talking too much?
Yes! Why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Who's that?
Old man Collins on his front porch.
Oh, youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, mister, come back out here and show you some kissing that put the hair back on your head.
George!
Uncle Billy?
George, get in the car quick. Your father's had a stroke.
I'm sorry, I've got to go, Mary.
George's father died that night, Clarence, so George couldn't go to Europe. That fall, just as he was ready for college, the directors of the building loan held a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor.
I want the board to know that George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here these past few months, and it was greatly appreciated. I think that's all we need you here for, George. Good luck to you at school. I know you're anxious to make a train.
Yes, I have a taxi waiting downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get my real purpose. I claim this institution is not necessary to this town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve the building and loan.
It was too soon after Peter Bailey's death to discuss the chloroforming of the building and loan. His faith and devotion are responsible for this organization.
Oh, I'll go further than that. I'll say Peter Bailey was the building and loan.
Oh, that's fine, Potter, coming from you, considering that you drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. He was a man of high ideals without common sense. And what does that get us but a discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class? All because a few starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stir their mud and fill their heads with a lot of impossible hooey. Now I say...
Just a minute, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father is no businessman. Why he ever started this building and loan, I'll never know. But you can't say anything against his character. Why, in the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And just remember that this rabble you're talking about do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? My father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. In my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book.
Well, I've said too much. You're the board. You do what you want with this thing. Remember that this town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can come without crawling to Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
Sentimental hogwash! I won my motion!
They're just coming out of the board meeting. I'll have to call you back. What happened, George? All we heard was yelling.
Boy, oh boy, Matilda, you should have heard George.
Yeah, they're voting us down in there.
They're putting us out of business. So what? I can get another job. I'm only 52.
You're 58.
George, they voted Potter down!
Well, we're still in business.
Under the one condition that you take your father's place, George.
I'm going to college. Uncle Billy here, he's your man.
You can keep him on, that's all right.
I'm going to school. This is my last chance.
But they'll vote with Potter otherwise.
So George Bailey didn't go to college.
That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to his brother instead and waited 4 years for Harry to come back and take over the building loan. Then he could still see the world.
There she blows. Say, Uncle Billy, you know what the three most wonderful sounds on earth are?
Breakfast is served. Lunch is served. Oh, dinner is served.
Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles. Here's the professor now.
Well, it isn't George Geographic Explorer Bailey. Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Oh, am I glad to see you.
Where's Mother?
She's home cooking the fatted calf. Come on, let's go.
Oh wait, this is Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
I wired you. I had a surprise. Here she is. Meet the wife.
Well, what do you know? Wife.
Congratulations. Harry, why don't you tell somebody? What's a pretty girl like you doing marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
It's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Oh, he gets you and a job. Harry's cup running over. Come on, Ruth. Let's start ahead and leave the bags for the fellas.
All right.
George, about that job, I never said I'd take it. You've been holding it back here for 4 years, and I won't let you down.
And that night, the homecoming for Harry became his wedding party. Uncle Billy familiarized himself with the spirits.
Oh boy. I feel so good I could spit in Potter's eye. I think I will. What do you say? Okay, maybe I should go home. If you point me in the right direction.
Right down there.
That way? Okay, little villain alone, pal. See you tomorrow. I'm alright. I am alright.
George, out here on the porch, Mother.
Well, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
She's swell.
Looks like she'll keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
George, do you know Mary Hatch is back from school?
Yeah?
Nice girl, Mary. The girl will help you find all the answers.
Uh-huh.
Give me one good reason you shouldn't call on her.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
How do you know that? She discussed it with you?
Besides, Sam's in New York, and you're here in Bedford Falls.
And all's fair in love and war?
I don't know about war.
All right, Mother. I think we'll go out and find the girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Bye, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you want any books in the library?
The library? George, you go and see Mary, you hear? Hello, George?
Hello, Mary. I just happened to be passing by.
Your mother just phoned. She said you were on your way.
My mother just called you? How'd she know? I just went for a walk and happened to be passing by. When'd you get back?
Tuesday. Would you like to come in?
Well, I guess, since I'm here. Where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
It's all right. Thought you'd go back to New York with Sam and the rest of them.
Oh, well, I worked there a couple of vacations, but I guess I was homesick.
Homesick for Bedford Falls?
Yes, and my family and, oh, everything.
I still can't understand it, though. I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
I don't want to be rude.
It was nice about her and Ruth, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
It's just marriage in general I'm enthusiastic about.
No, marriage is okay for Harry and Sam and you.
Mary, who are you talking to?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Not a thing. I just came in here to get warm.
He's making fun of love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home. Sam Wainwright promised to call from New York tonight.
Didn't he? Your mother needs that. I didn't come here to...
What did you come here for?
You're supposed to be the one who has all the answers. You tell me.
Well, why don't you go home?
That's where I'm going.
Mary, the telephone. It's Sam.
I'll get it. Hee-haw, hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, great, gee, it's good to hear your voice again.
Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George? Hee-haw, come on.
Wait a minute, I'll call him. George!
He doesn't want to speak to George.
He asked for him. George, Sam wants to speak to you.
Hello, Sam?
Hey, fine pal you are. What are you trying to do, steal my girl?
Nobody's trying to steal your girl.
I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
Mother's on the extension. I'm not. We can both hear you. George, put your head a little closer.
Okay.
There, that's better. We're listening, Sam.
I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, remember that night at Martine's barn when you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Huh? Yeah, soybeans.
Well, my father's checked into it and he wants to build a factory outside of Rochester. How do you like that?
Why Rochester?
Why not? Can you think of anything better?
Why not right here in Bedford Falls? You remember that old tool and machinery works? You tell your father he can get that for a song, and all the labor he wants too. Half the town was closed out of work when they closed down.
That's so. Well, that sounds great. Now, here's the point, George. I may have a job for you. That is, unless you're still married to that old broken down building and loan. Oh, Mary?
I'm here.
Tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime.
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone. Now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics, and I don't want any job, and I don't want to get married, ever, to anyone. Do you understand that? I want to do what I want to do, and you're not gonna... Oh, Mary.
George.
Oh, Mary. I love you.
George, I love you too. George and Mary were married, and following the wedding and reception, George's old pal Ernie, the cab driver, drove the happy couple to the train station.
Where are you two off on this now honeymoon?
We're gonna shoot the works. A whole week to New York, then Bermuda. The highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Here's the kitty, Ernie. $2,000. I feel like a bootlegger's wife.
Finally getting out of Bedford Falls, huh? Then what?
Then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
Hey, George, look, over at the bank. See something funny. Looks like a run.
Pull over a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop, please. Let's just go straight to the station.
Wait a minute. I better see what it is. I'll be right back. What is this, Uncle Billy, a holiday? Why are all the doors locked? There's a crowd out front.
This is a pickle, George.
What happened?
The bank called our loan and I had to hand out all our cash.
All of it?
Every last cent.
Holy mackerel.
And then I got scared, George.
Open the doors. Let him in.
Now
Now remember that this thing isn't as black as it appears.
where's that money, George?
You're thinking of this place all wrong. The money's not here. Your money's in people's houses. In the Kennedy house, and the McLaren house, and 100 others. Now what are you gonna do? Foreclose on them?
I got $242 in here, and $242 isn't gonna break anybody.
All right, Charlie. Get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
That's what you agreed to when you bought your shares.
I got my money. Old man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on every dollar.
If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll own this building and loan. He's got the bank, he's got the bus line, he's got the department stores, and now he's after us because he wants to keep you living in shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides to charge. Now we can get through this, all right? But we've got to have faith in each other.
My husband's out of work. We need money.
I got doctor's bills to pay.
How much do you need? We got $2,000 from the wedding.
Hey, Mary, I got $2,000 here. This will tide us over till the bank reopens. All right, Charlie, how much do you need?
$242.
Odd, Charlie, just enough to tide you over.
I'll take $242.
Okay, Uncle Billy, give Charlie $242. All right, Ed, how much does get by?
$20, I suppose.
Now we're talking. Miss Thompson, how about you?
But it's your own money, George.
Never mind that. How much, Mrs. Thompson?
Could I have $17.50?
7. Bless your heart. Of course you can have it. Uncle Billy, give her $17.50. Pay it back when you can. All right, who's next?
Hey, look at the clock. Look.
5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, 6 o'clock. We made it. Lock that door, Uncle Billy. We're still in business.
Bailey's brother building in. Oh, just a minute. George, there's a call for you.
Look, we get my wife on the phone. She's probably over at her mother's.
Mrs. Bailey is on the phone.
I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Oh, Mrs. Bailey. Oh, that's my wife. Mary? Hello. Listen, dear. I'm sorry. What? Come home? What home? 320 Sycamore? Well, what? Whose home is that? The Waldorf Hotel, huh?
That doesn't look like the Waldorf.
Oh, no. Number 326 was the old Granville house. The house Mary and George threw off that had made wishes. Mary had prepared the house, including a turkey dinner, romantic decorations, and even a marriage bed.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I'll be.
Remember the night we broke with the windows in this old place? This is what I wished for.
Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, sir. That's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started their lives together. Mary made the leaky old house a home, while George toiled away at the building and loan office.
Oh, gee. Mary Hatch, why in the world would you ever marry a guy like me anyway?
Take it from being an old maid.
I was gonna give you the moon. What have I given you? Not even a new dress, now for months. You could have married Sam Wainwright or anybody else in town.
I don't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon. I promised you. Your what?
My baby.
You mean, Mary, you're on the nest? George Bailey lassos the stork.
Well, Mary had her baby, a boy.
You don't say.
Then she had a girl. Night after night, George would come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was bearing down hard. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then, but still had time to run the USO. Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds. Violet entertained the troops. Bert the cop was wounded in North Africa at the Silver Star. Bernie the cab driver parachuted into France. But Harry Bailey topped them all. A Navy flyer, he shot down 15 planes. 2 of them as they're about to crash into a transport full of soldiers.
But what about George?
4F, on account of his ear. George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Air raid boarded, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. On DE Day, he wept and prayed. BJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, aren't we, sir?
Yes, Clarence, you know now almost everything you have to know about George Bailey, except what happens that finds him down there at this moment, wanting to die. Today's the day before Christmas, and Billy's at the bank to make a deposit when he runs into Potter.
Well, Mr. Henry F. Potter. Come to the bank to deposit some more loot? How do you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor.
Let me see that newspaper.
There you go. Go on and keep it. I'm off to make a deposit.
Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Good morning, Horace. How are you today? Here you are. Bank slip, check, deposit, and yeah, Merry Christmas.
You too, Mr. Bailey. You want to make a deposit?
Certainly.
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
The money. Where'd I put the money?
A terrible thing, Clarence. Uncle Billy couldn't find the envelope with the $8,000 because it was folded up in that newspaper he gave to old man Potter. At the same time as Billy made the bank's deposit, Violet came to visit George at the building loan.
Oh, hello, Pete. What's wrong?
You see right through me, don't you?
How much do you need?
I hate doing this to you, George, but I won't be asking for any more after this.
You planning on robbing a bank, Pete?
I'm going to Manhattan.
What's in Manhattan?
Right, everything's in Manhattan. A new start, at least.
That's a big step, Pete. What's the matter with starting a new life right here in Bedford Falls?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd hear that from you, George Bailey. I thought you hated this place.
I did, but this town has a charm of its own.
I've made a decision. There's a midnight train tonight, and I plan to be on it.
It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again. Here's some stuff.
No, George, don't.
What do you want to do? Hawk your furs and that's that? Want to walk to New York? You know they charge for meals and rent there just the same as they do in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, sure.
It's a loan. That's my business. Building and loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey. Merry Christmas.
George!
What's the matter, Uncle Billy?
The money, the 8,000.
What, Uncle Billy? What happened to it?
I thought I had it. I just don't know what happened.
Well, the first place you looked was in your coat pocket. I told you to put it there when you left.
I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
Uncle Billy, we've got to find that money. Think!
I can't think anymore, George. It hurts.
Where's the money, you silly, stupid old fool? Do you realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it ain't going to be me.
Hello, Daddy.
Hello, darling. Where's your coat and hat?
Left him at the office.
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I'll bet I had 50 calls about the Braden banquet today.
Must she keep playing that?
I have to practice by the car tonight, Daddy.
Mommy says we can stay up until midnight and listen to Christmas Carol.
Better hurry and shave. The families will be here soon.
Families? I don't want the families over here.
Excuse me.
Have a hectic day?
Oh yeah, another big red letter day for the Baileys.
Daddy, the Browns next door have a new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy.
Excuse me.
Excuse you for what?
I heard.
All right, darling, you're excused. Now go upstairs and see what little Zuzu wants.
What's the matter with Zuzu?
Oh, she caught a cold coming home from school today. They gave her a flower and she didn't want to crush it, so she didn't button up her coat. It's nothing serious.
Was the doctor here?
I called him right away.
Is she running a temperature?
Just a teensy one.
Gosh, it's this old house. I don't know why we don't all have pneumonia. This drafty-old barn might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to stay around this house and live around this measly, crummy old town?
George, what's wrong?
Everything's wrong. You call this a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Dad, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Up to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy.
What happened to you?
I want flowers.
Where do you think you're going?
Want to give my flower a drink?
Here, give Daddy the flower. I'll give it a drink.
Look, Daddy. Some of the petals came off. Taste it.
All right, now, there it is. Good as new.
Give the flower a drink.
Now, will you try to get some sleep?
I'm not sleepy. I want to look at my flower.
I know, but just go to sleep, and you can dream about it, and it'll be a whole garden.
It will?
Uh-huh.
Telephone!
I'll get it. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. The doctor says she'll be at bed in time for her Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes.
Let me speak to her. Hello, Mrs. Welch? This is George Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean send her home like that half naked?
George!
Is this the sort of thing we pay taxes for? To have teachers like you? Silly, stupid, careless people send our kids home without any clothes on? Oh, that's stupid!
Hello, Mrs. Welch. I want to apologize for... She hung up.
I'll hang her up.
Who do you think you are?
Hello? Who is this? Oh, Mr. Welch, that fine Mr. Welch. Gives me a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife.
George!
Will you let me handle this? Hello? Oh, you will, huh? Okay, Mr. Welch. Anytime you think you're man enough to... Hello? Oh.
Daddy, how do you spell hallelujah?
What do you think I am, a dictionary? Jenny, haven't you learned that silly tune yet? You played it over and over again. Oh, stop it! Stop it!
George! What are you doing?
I'm sorry, Mary. Janie, I didn't mean. You go on and practice. Pete, I owe you an apology, too. What did you want to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
What's the matter with everybody? Janie, go on. I told you to practice. Go on, play.
Oh, Daddy.
George, why must you torture the children? Why don't you...
Mary,
Where's Barry going?
Bedford 247, please.
Is Daddy in trouble?
Yes, Pete.
Shall I pray for him?
Yes, Janie. Pray very hard.
Me too?
You too, Tommy. Hello, Uncle Billy?
So that's it, George. You're short $8,000.
Don't pay any sort of interest, Mr. Potter. Still want the building and loan.
You say it was lost. Did you notify the police?
No, I haven't. Harry's homecoming tomorrow.
Why come to me? Why not go to Sam Wainwright?
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
What kind of security would I have?
I have a $15,000 life insurance policy.
How much is your equity in it?
$500.
And you want $8,000? You used to be so cocky. You were going to go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. What are you but a warped, frustrated young man, crawling in here on your hands and knees, looking for help? You're worth more dead than you are alive.
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter. Please help me.
You know what I'm going to do for you? As a stockholder of the building and loan, I'm going to call the state examiner to get a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of funds, manipulation, malfeasance. Go on and run. You can't hide in a little town like this.
Mary Christmas, glad you come.
Have some of that good spaghetti.
Where's George, sir? After running out of Potter's office, he ended up at Martini's bar. He's had a couple of drinks and is just sitting there. What's he saying?
Dear Father in heaven, I'm not praying, man. If you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way.
You all right, George?
Why you drink so much, my friend? You don't feel good. Please go home, Mr. Bailey.
Bailey. Which Bailey?
This gentleman is Mr. George Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? Oh, the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get it worse. It isn't enough that she sleeps teaching your stupid kids how to read and write. You gotta bawl her out.
You get out of here, Mr. Welsh. You hit my best friend.
Oh, all right.
Mr. Bailey, are you okay?
Who was that?
Mr. Welsh, but don't worry. He don't come in this place no more. I tried something for your face. It's bleeding.
I'm all right.
Please don't go away, Mr. Bailey. Please don't.
George is headed to the bridge now, Clarence. Can you see him?
He looks like he's gonna jump.
It's time, Clarence.
Help! Help me! I can't swim!
Hold him, mister, I'm coming.
What in the Sam Hill are the two of you doing? Now get out of that water! You two all right? You need a doctor?
I'm all right.
I'm fine. This underwear, I didn't have time to get anything stylish. My wife gave me this on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
Passed away?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer is drawing out too.
Who?
My book. I left in such a hurry, I brought Tom Sawyer with me. You should read the new book Mark Twain is working on.
How'd you happen to fall in?
I jumped in so you wouldn't go through with it.
Go through with what?
Suicide.
Suicide's against the law around here.
It's against the law where I come from too.
Where do you come from?
Heaven.
What?
I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew if I were drowning, you would try to save me, and you did. And that's how I saved you.
Very funny.
Your lips bleeding, George.
I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
Oh no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
How do you know my name?
I know all about you.
What are you, a mind reader or something?
Oh no, my name's Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Odd body. AS2. What's that AS2?
Angel second class.
What? You may not need a doctor, but I do.
Cheerio, my good man.
Hey, look here. Why'd you want to save me?
Cause I'm your guardian angel.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself for $8,000.
How do you know things like that?
I'm your guardian angel.
Well, you look up about the panel angel I get. Sort of a fallen angel, aren't you? What happened to your wings?
I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm in Angel's second class. You can help me earn them by letting me help you.
You wouldn't happen to have $8,000 on you?
Oh no, we don't use money in heaven.
Comes in pretty handy down here, Buck. I found it out a little late. I'm worth more dead than alive.
I don't get motives with that attitude. You just don't know what you've done. If it hadn't been for you...
If it hadn't been for me, everybody would be a lot better off. My wife and my kids and friends.
This isn't gonna be easy.
They'd all be better off if I hadn't been born.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
George, that's wonderful.
Wonderful.
The idea you just gave me, That'd do it. Okay, there. You've got your wish. You've never been born.
Never been born.
Exactly. No worries, no $1,000 to get, nothing. You simply don't exist.
Wait a minute. Say something else in the seer mind.
That's right. You can hear out of it. Don't you see? Well, you're nobody.
Well, that's the doggonest thing.
Your lips stop bleeding too, George.
What do you know? What happened? I need a drink. What about you, Angel? Do you want a drink?
Well, I don't know.
Come on, we'll go as soon as our clothes are dry.
Our clothes are dry.
That stove's hotter than I thought. Well, look, let's get dressed and stroll over to Martini's and... Oh, excuse me. I'll stroll, you fly.
I haven't gotten
There's a place to sit down. Welcome to the best bar in Bedford Falls.
Bedford Falls? Don't you mean Pottersville?
Pottersville? Hey, where's Martini, your boss?
Look, I'm the boss. You want a drink or don't you?
Okay, all right. Double bourbon. Quick, huh?
Let's get Bob.
I was just thinking of mulled wine. Peppermint, cinnamon, and light on the clothes. Off with you, my lad. Be lively.
Look, mister, we serve hard drinks here for men who want to get drunk fast. And we don't need any characters around to give the joint atmosphere.
Now, just give him the same as I ordered. He's okay.
2 double bourbon.
What is it about this place? It seems to have changed.
All of Bedford Falls has changed. You're having your wish, George, who's never been born. There'll be lots of things you've never seen before. Oh, good. Somebody's just made it. Every time you hear a bell ring, it means that some angel's just got its wings.
What did you say?
Clarence, you better not talk about angels around here.
Don't they believe in angels?
Maybe they believe in them, but, you know.
So why should they be surprised when they see one?
Don't mind him, Nick. He never grew up. How old are you anyway, Clarence?
293 next May.
Alright, that does it. Out you 2 pixies go. Through the door or out the window. Well, well, well. Look who crawled out from under whatever hole he's been hiding in.
Hey, it's Mr. Gower.
Didn't I tell you to never come panhandling around here?
Mr. Gower, this is George Bailey. Don't you know me?
Buy me a drink, mister. Just one drink, mister. Pinky, throw the rummy out. You got it.
Hey, Nick, isn't that Mr. Gower, the druggist?
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Pinky, here's 2 more. Get him out of here. You got it.
What's wrong with Mr. Gower?
He doesn't know you, George, and you were there to stop him from putting the poison in that prescription.
What do you mean I wasn't there? What are you, a hypnotist? Why am I seeing all these strange things here?
It's because you were never born.
Then if I wasn't born, who am I?
Nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean? My name is George Bailey.
There is no George Bailey. You have no papers, no forever card, no cars, no driver's license, no insurance policy.
Suzu's petals, my little girl. Some petals fell off her flower and I told her I'd fix it and stuck it in my pocket. But they're gone too, everything's gone.
You've been given a great gift, George. The chance to see what the world would be like without you.
You're crazy as a bed bug and you're driving me crazy too. Now leave me alone. I'm going home to my wife and family.
You know the drill. Hand behind your back, sister.
Why don't you bust somebody else for a change?
Hey officer, where'd the building alone move to?
The building what?
The Bailey building alone. It was in that building.
They went out of business years ago. Now all that's left is for less cows.
Not so fast, Copper. I know Potter.
Hey, Violet. Hey, that's Violet Finn.
Believe me, I know.
I know that girl.
Who doesn't? Now get out of our way!
Taxi. Hey, Ernie, take me home. I'm going off my nut.
Where do you live?
Doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling that stuff. You know where I live. 320 Sycamore. Now hurry up.
Okay, 320 Sycamore.
Ernie, straighten me out here. I've got some bad liquor or something. Listen to me. You're Ernie Bishop, and you live in Bailey Park with your wife and kid, right?
You seen my wife?
Seen your wife? I've been to your house 100 times.
What's the idea? I live in a shack in Pottersfield, and my wife ran away and took the kid. And I ain't never seen you before in my life.
Okay, just step on it. Just get me home.
This the place?
Of course it's the place.
This house you ain't been lived in for 20 years?
Mary, Pete, Tommy, Jamie, Zuzu, I'm home.
They're not here, George. You have no children.
What have you done with them, Clarence?
All right, put your hands up, both of you. No fast moves.
Bert, thank heavens you're here. Bert, what happened in this house? Where's Mary and my kids?
Come with me. I'm gonna take you down to the station.
Bert, listen to me. That fellow there says he's an angel.
Don't make me use my nightstick.
Bert, I hate to do this, but
Run! George, run!
Mom Bailey's boarding house. Mother?
Mother, what do you want?
Mother, I'm George. I thought sure you'd remember me.
If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
Mother, please try to understand. Something's happened here and I need a place to stay. Please let me stay here.
I don't take in strangers.
I'm not a stranger. I know everybody you know. Your brother-in-law owns the building.
When did you see him last?
Today over at his house.
That's a lie. He's been in the insane asylum ever since he's lost his business. And if you ask me, that's where you belong.
Here again, George.
My own mother didn't even know me.
One man's life touches so many others. When he isn't around, he leaves a pretty big hole, doesn't he?
Look, you, I've heard of things like this before. You've got me under some kind of spell. Well, I'm gonna snap out of it. Now let me think. Bailey Park.
There's no Bailey Park if you weren't here to build it.
We'll see. What's this graveyard doing here where Bailey Park is supposed to be? Look at this gravestone. Why is my brother Harry's name here?
Harry broke through the ice and drowned at age 9.
That's a lie. Harry Bailey went to war. He got the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. You see, George, you really have a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it away?
What happened to Mary, Clarence?
I'm not supposed to tell you, George.
I don't know how you know the things you do, but please, just let me see her. Where is she?
You're not gonna like it, George. She's an old maid.
What? Where is she?
She's just about to close up the library. There must be some easier way to earn my wings.
Is the library closed?
It's Christmas Eve. We can't stay open all night.
Mary, I'm sorry.
How do you know my name?
Please, just 2 minutes. That's all I need.
You sound desperate. I'll help if I can. What is it?
Isn't this town Bedford Falls?
It used to be, but then Potter was elected and renamed the town Pottersville.
Mary Hatch, you live in a white Victorian on Reed Street with your mother and you have an older brother named Marty.
How do you know all of this? Get your hands off me. I'll call a cop.
Don't you know me? You must. Mary, it's George. Oh, don't do this to me. Where are our kids? I need you, Mary.
Get away from me. Help! Police!
George! Mary! Please! You're my wife! Ah! Tell me, Clarence, get me back! I don't care what happens to me! Only get me back to my wife and kids! Help me, Clarence, please! I want to live again! Oh, God, please let me live again!
George, is that you, George?
Bert, you come any closer and I'll hit you again!
What in the Sam Howell are you yelling for, George?
George! Bert, do you know me?
No, you. I've been looking all over town for you.
I'm alive again, Bert!
You sure are all right. Your mouth's bleeding.
It is? Hey, my mouth's bleeding! Susan's pedals, there they are! What do you know about that? Merry Christmas, Bert!
Get in the car. I'll drive you home.
Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls! Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building alone! Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter!
Merry Christmas, George. Go on home. The sheriff's waiting for you.
Mary, I'm home! Hey, what is this? Merry Christmas, everyone!
George, I got a little paper here.
Oh, got a tour for my arrest! Isn't that wonderful? Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, Daddy.
Kids, Pete, Janie, Tommy, I could eat you up. Where's your mother?
George, darling, where have you been? Oh, George.
Mary, you're real. You have no idea what's happened.
You have no idea what's happened either. Come on, George, quick, they're on their way.
Who's on the way? The police department, the FBI, the National Guard? Let him in. I'm alive again, Mary.
Now you stand right over here by the tree and don't move. It's a miracle. Come in, everybody. Uncle Billy, everyone in here.
Isn't it wonderful? Mary did it, George. She told a few people you were in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money. They didn't ask any questions, just said, if George doesn't help, you can count on me. You never saw anything like it. Here you go, $242. Merry Christmas.
I busted the jukebox, too.
Mr. Gower,
I made the rounds of my charge accounts.
$5 violent fit.
I'm not going to go, George. I changed my mind. I've been saving this money for a divorce, if I ever get a husband.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! Alright, quiet everybody, quiet. A telegram from London.
Oh, London!
Mr. Gower, tables you need cash, stop. My office instructed to advance you up to $25,000. Stop. D. Hall, Merry Christmas, Sam Wainwright.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Harry!
Hey!
Mary, looks like I got here too late.
Harry, how about your banquet in Washington?
I left as soon as I got Mary's telegram.
How about some wine?
Good idea. A toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Woo!
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind?
What's this book, George?
Tom Sawyer.
Look, there's an inscription. George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
What's that?
A Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Dad. Teacher said every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right, that's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne?
This has been WBFR Playhouse of the Air's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. Please stay tuned for a program of popular holiday music. This is Freddie Fillmore signing off for WBFR in New York, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Good night.
For old lang syne, my dear, for